There are only 3 undefeated teams left in the NBA in 2019, and 2 of them face off tonight in Philly. Sixers, Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid. Everybody's healthy. Let's go. What is up, guys? My name is DJ Eastwood. This is Run It Back. As always, hit that subscribe button if you like talking Philly sports every single day, because that's what I do. Listen, Sixers play the Timberwolves in Philly tonight at 7 o'clock. This is an interesting matchup. They're both 3-0. I don't know how much you should take from teams being 3-0. You know, they played 3 games in the NBA season so far. So can you really assess them? I don't know. But they're both 3-0, so it makes it an interesting matchup. Are the Timberwolves for real this year? Are the Timberwolves for real? Did they finally get it together? You know, they went through all this stuff, trading Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler coming, Jimmy Butler imploding the entire franchise and leaving, Andrew Wiggins being the high draft pick that he was and not really living up to it, signing a max contract. Are the Timberwolves for real? They played the Brooklyn Nets and won by a point. And who knows if the Brooklyn Nets are any good or not yet this year. You know, that they were decent last year and they added Kyrie. They're still waiting for, Kevin Durant to come back probably next season. But anyway, they beat the Brooklyn Nets by a point. Then they blew out the Charlotte Hornets. And then they beat the Miami Heat by 7, 116-109. And the Miami Heat look decent this year so far also. So the 3-0 has merit to it. You know, the Sixers beat the Celtics, who are overrated as hell. Everybody knows that. I don't even think they're overrated anymore. Nobody even thinks the Celtics are good this year. So get the Celtics the hell out of here. We beat the Celtics. We beat the Detroit Pistons without Blake Griffin and Reggie Jackson. So how much merit does that hold? And then we narrowly escaped the Atlanta Hawks, because Trae Young is a flop artist and failed at the end of the game. And Vince Carter wanted to take the game-winning shot for some reason, which was hilarious. That's just great. But which team is better? You know, is our 3-0 better than their 3-0? I don't know, man. Are these teams finally like good matchups? Are these teams finally some of the best in the NBA? Because remember a couple years ago when the Minnesota Timberwolves just drafted Karl Anthony Towns, and they had Wiggins, and they had Zach LaVine, and we were like, yo, this is a young core that's scary. And we played them that one year. I think it was Embiid's first year playing after all those foot injuries. And Towns dunked on us a couple times. The Timberwolves beat us by 20 or something. And Brett Brown said they're clearly 2 years ahead of us. I remember Brett Brown saying that. We were both in rebuilding. That's what makes this matchup interesting and maybe a permanent rivalry. We were both in rebuilding at the same time, and they beat us, and Brett Brown said they're clearly 2 years ahead of us. That was before we had Ben Simmons, too. Don't forget that. So, are both of these teams' rebuilds finally in full blossom, and are they both going to be juggernauts of the NBA? I mean, that would be awesome. If we ended up with a Timberwolves-Sixers finals, how cool would that be? That both of these teams were rebuilding at the same time a couple years ago, and now they're both great. That would be cool. I would be happy about that. Andrew Wiggins is averaging 23 points a game right now. 25 points a game right now. So is Andrew Wiggins finally playing like the star that he was supposed to be when he was drafted? We're going to find out, I guess, as the season goes on, but they just won that game in Miami, a late comeback. Andrew Wiggins had 9 points in the final 3 minutes. He had 4 3-pointers. They're saying his jump shot looks good, and I mean that's all he was ever really missing from his game is a consistent jump shot and total aggressiveness, because he never lacked aggressiveness. Don't get me wrong, even when Jimmy Butler was there, Andrew would still put up more shots than everybody and go 5 for 20. If he learns to shoot a high percentage, he can be that player that he was supposed to be when he was drafted. So that's interesting too. The spread is minus 7.5 for Philly. I would probably take the Timberwolves in this bet. Given 7.5, I mean, the way the Timberwolves are playing, I don't see why we would definitely win by more than 7.5 points. You know, I see this being a grinded out kind of down to the wire game, and we come away with like a two or 3 point victory. You know, so if you're a betting man and you're betting on this, I would take Minnesota with the 7.5. I'm still taking Philly to win, but if they're giving us 7.5, that's a pretty big spread for an NBA team, for two teams that are undefeated. Also, you know, we're 3-0, but we got a lot of things to work on. Joel Embiid said today or yesterday that, we're 3-0, but it doesn't mean anything. He said we got 79 games left, and we got a lot of things to work on. And he said mainly starting with myself. And that's something that I love about Joel Embiid, is that he always puts it on himself. He holds himself to such a high standard. He wants to be great so bad. He never puts blame on anybody else. He never looks at anybody else. He puts everything on himself. And that's what makes him a great player in the long run. That's just, I mean, he holds himself to a high standard. He puts so much pressure on himself to perform, and that's why he's always going to perform at a high level. But 7.5 spread, yeah. Take the Timberwolves in that bet, definitely, because I don't see the Sixers blowing them out by any means. We still have a chemistry thing going. We still got to figure out, you know, Tobias is hot, Tobias is cold. Josh Richardson's hot, he's cold. Ben Simmons is on fire in the first quarter, and then teams start playing off, and he refuses to shoot and all that kind of stuff. We still got things we're working on within the offense, but we have enough talent to be 3-0. That's the promising part of this, is that we have things that we're definitely working on, and we're undefeated right now. So that just tells you how good we could possibly be. Robert Covington is returning to Philadelphia for the first time since being traded to the Timberwolves for Jimmy Butler back in that debacle that happened with Dario Saric, and now Dario's like in Phoenix or something. I don't even know where he is. But yeah, Robert Covington's coming back. I would expect a lot of cheers for him because he was like one of the original process players and all that kind of stuff. So I would expect Philly to give him a big ovation. I'm going to expect something on the Jumbotron, some kind of tribute video and all that kind of stuff for Robert Covington. It is what it is. It's going to happen. Nice guy, good player, not as much of a star that we made him out to be when he was here because we didn't have anybody on the team and we just wanted somebody to be great. We hyped up Robert Covington. He's a good defender, streaky shooter, you know, whatever. So I'm just going to give you a quick prediction for the game. I see us finally shooting the ball well. We've been shooting like 24% from three so far in these first 3 games. I see us finally shooting the ball well. I see Tobias shooting the ball well, Josh shooting the ball well, Horford shooting the ball well, and we come away with a victory. I'm going to say defensive battle. I'm going to say like 105-103. That's going to be my prediction. If we finally have a breakout game where we shoot the ball well, we should have no problem. But I also expect Minnesota to shoot the ball well also. Karl Anthony Towns is averaging like 32 points and 13 rebounds. He's shooting 51% from 3, and that's going to slow down obviously, but he's becoming a really, really good 3-point shooter, man. And if he can do that, I mean, if he keeps this up, he'll be in the MVP race. You know what I mean? I mean, that's not exaggerating at all. So, yeah, I'm going to predict a 105-103 victory tonight. The Sixers move on to 4-0. We finally shoot the ball well. Let me know in the comments if I'm being too optimistic. Let me know what you think, what your prediction is, and what you think of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Are they for real, or did they just play a bunch of scrub teams? Let me know. DJ Eastwood, this is Run It Back. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like talking Philly sports every day. Have a good day.